Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today we're doing another top 5 video. Today's top 5 is about the top 5 best reinforcements in Battlefront 2. Before we start this top 5, I do want to say that this list is completely based on my personal opinion. So if you don't agree with my top 5, please let me know in the comments down below. But without further ado, let's start with this top 5. Hope you enjoy. Number 5. The ARC Trooper. The ARC Trooper has been one of the most changing reinforcements in the game since it got added into the game last year. This reinforcement was insanely good when it got released, and so DICE decided to nerf it. After this nerf, the ARC Trooper was one of the most balanced reinforcements in the game, but then DICE decided to nerf the ARC Trooper again last March, making it one of the most controversial reinforcements in the game. Some people really liked the ARC Trooper, but others absolutely hated it. And so the ARC Trooper was changed for one last time, and now it is one of the best, but also one of the most balanced reinforcements in the game. The ARC Trooper is very versatile. It can be used in longer range distances because of the secondary fire, but also in close to mid-range distances because of the pistols. The ARC Trooper is especially very deadly at close range, and I think that if this list was about the best reinforcements at close range, the ARC Trooper would definitely be higher on this list. But for today, it is our number 5 spot. Number 4. The Clone Commando. Another clone on this list that I think that most people probably saw coming. The Clone Commando is a really good reinforcement that has lots of health and a very good damage output at close range. Also, the Clone Commando has two of the best reinforcement abilities in the game, those being the Battle Focus and Anti-Armor Attachment ability. The Battle Focus ability makes the Clone Commando a literal tank, since it gives you 25% damage reduction and health on dealing damage. This ability was insanely broken when the Clone Commando got released, but now after a nerf it is still a really good ability and definitely not broken anymore. And the anti-armor attachment is really good for taking out people around corners, big groups of enemies, and really good for taking out, as the name suggests, tanks. You can literally destroy an AAT with 2 shots of this ability, what is absolutely nuts, but also really needed since tanks are really annoying. The Clone Commando only has 2 downsides, this being that it is not a really good reinforcement beyond close range, and because one of its abilities is completely useless, this being the Repulsor Blast. But the good outweighs the bad by a mile, and so it makes our number 4 today. Number 3. The SAF Trooper. This reinforcement was actually meant to be on the number 1 spot, but when playing with it I realized that the number 2 and 1 spot are just a little bit better, and so here we are. Despite this, the SAF Trooper is absolutely insane. It has a good blast rifle that totally melts at close range, but it is also good at middle to long range because of its secondary fire. It also has 3 really decent abilities. A Pressing Grenade, what is just a good grenade that has a very annoying ability that makes the person who gets hit not able to regen health for a little while. Seeker Tactics, what is literally wall hacks. And lastly, Combat Rush, which makes it really easy to move around and to run away, plus regenerating your health when you get a kill. All these abilities make the SAF Trooper a really good reinforcement. The only reason why the SAF Trooper is not higher is because that you can't aim with this reinforcement, since it has a secondary fire. This makes it very hard to hit your shots past close range, and because of that it makes our number 3 spot today. Number 2. The Death Trooper. Where to start with this reinforcement? It was without a doubt the best reinforcement in Battlefront 2 for 2 straight years, but despite this, not very overpowered. There was only one problem with the Death Trooper. It didn't have the right weapon that they use in most of Rogue One. this being the E11D. Beforehand, it had the DLT-19 as its weapon, but DICE decided to change this to the E11D to make them more accurate to the movies. This was an actual unintended nerf to the SAF Trooper, since it made the overload ability way less overpowered. Beforehand, this ability could even outmatch a heavy sentry gun, what is absolutely insane. You could melt people in less than a second, and hence it was at the time the most overpowered ability in the game. But now the SAF Trooper has the E11D, which has a way slower rate of fire, and so this ability is not overpowered anymore. To the contrary, actually, the SAF Trooper is probably the most balanced reinforcement in the game, since it is good at all ranges, has 3 decent but not great abilities, and a really good average amount of health points. Because of this, the SAF Trooper has no downsides at all, and that's why it makes our number 2 today. The only reason why it isn't on the number 1 spot is because the number 1 reinforcement just absolutely melts. Number 1. The Vision Gunner. This reinforcement was actually meant to be on the number 3 spot today, but after playing with it again, I realized how insanely good this reinforcement actually is. The Vision Gunner has without a doubt the best gun in the game as its primary weapon, this being the modified Z6B rotary cannon. This gun can outgun every single infantry and reinforcement weapon in the game, and a decent player can even completely destroy heroes with this reinforcement because of its gun. In addition to the best gun of the game, the Vision Gunner has a really good amount of health points and a very decent set of abilities. The defensive stance ability literally makes you an unstoppable rain of blaster bolts, and a literal tank because of the health regen on damage dealing. The anti-armor mode makes those very irritating ATSTs look like walking coffins, since you can easily melt them. And the charge ability is very handy for running away or just for ramming your enemy when your weapon is overheated. Despite all of this, the Vision Gunner has one weak point, this being that both your abilities as the rotary cannon are really slow to start. This can lead to very tricky situations which mostly result into death. But these can easily be avoided if you know what you are doing, and so the Vision Gunner makes our number 1 today. This was the video for today. I hope you have enjoyed it, and if you do, please leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you by the next video. Bye!